All right, welcome, my friends, to another episode here of Extreme Health Radio. This is actually episode 607. We've been doing this show since 2012. Can you believe it? 607 shows later. So this is going to be a fun show. We're going to talk with Phiil Wilson today about the benefits of sauna therapy, heat shock proteins, the immune system, sweating, toxicity, fat cells, all that good stuff. We'll be talking with him, and I'll bring him on in just a second. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Tuesday mornings. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Let me just share with you a couple of our upcoming guests. If you go on to extremehealthradio.com, you can find out what our upcoming guests are going to be. So we got a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy. We've changed to 5 shows. Actually, this week we're doing 5 shows, but normally we do shows on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:45 a.m. Pacific time. So this is sort of a special show we're going to have with Phiil Wilson. Tomorrow we're going to have Bob Greska on. We're going to talk about this hip new trend that's going on in the alternative natural health world about carbon-60 and that really crazy molecule that in studies with mice are showing a 95% increase in lifespan. So we'll find out if that transfers over to humanoids on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. And then Thursday is another special show. We're going to have Dr. Will Falconer on the show, and we'll be talking with him about natural pet care, holistic options and solutions for your pet. So if you have a dog or a cat, you're going to want to join that show on Thursday. And then on Friday, we will be talking with Jason Prawl, and he just wrapped up a documentary about longevity, anti-aging. I forget what the name of the documentary is, but man, he's a cool guy. I just listened to one of his podcasts or recent interviews on Tom Bilyeu's platform, so that was really cool. And then next Monday, Wednesday, Friday, got 3 more guests. Darren Ingalls about Lyme disease. We're going to be talking about intermittent fasting. And then Friday, we'll be talking with Dr. William Pollack next week about PEMF therapy. So a lot of cool stuff happening. So if you haven't joined or subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to do that so you don't miss any of these episodes here. Let's see if there are any other thing. Oh, for those of you that are watching on Dr. Bergman's YouTube channel, welcome. And you guys are probably wondering, who are these people? What are they doing on Dr. Bergman's channel? And we have actually partnered with Dr. John Bergman. We're working with him very closely on the Extreme Health Academy. You guys should be able to see that on the page there. And the Extreme Health Academy is a joint venture that we're doing with Dr. Bergman, educating everyone and providing courses and content. All this stuff should have been taught in school, but this is high-level courses. The one last month we did was on autoimmune diseases. This month is going to be all about heart health, and cardiovascular disease. And these are like 3-4 hour courses that Dr. Bergman teaches. Just high-level stuff that we should have been taught in schools. Recent one was about cancer, for those who are listening on the podcast, building your immune system, digestion, healing your digestion, your nervous system, balancing your hormones, all that good stuff. We've got a yoga course, the 3 stressors course. So that's why you're seeing us on Dr. Bergman's YouTube channel. So welcome, you guys. We love you, and I'm glad to have you here as well. All right, so today we're going to be talking. Let me bring my face up, and then we'll bring Phiil Wilson on the show. We're going to be talking about sauna therapy, and we have a video on our sauna page showing from Dr. Rhonda Patrick. This is pretty fascinating. A 40% decrease in all-cause mortality for those that use the far infrared sauna 4 to 7 times per week. That's a 40% decrease in all-cause mortality. Crazy stuff. So let me introduce Phiil Wilson to you. Let me bring him up on the screen. All right, Phiil, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I always enjoy your interviews with me because we get a lot of information out that the public really needs.
Yeah, so good. So whereabouts are you right now? You're pretty darn close to me, I think, somewhere in Orange County, right?
I'm in Anaheim right now, right near the convention center at the Marriott. I'm here for a practical nurse show.
Oh wow!
That begins on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh wow! Okay, and you travel quite a bit, don't you? You go all around traveling.
Almost every weekend. I think I'm a glutton for punishment.
Wow. Now, when you travel, that's got to be taxing on your immune system, right? To be in those planes and driving and all that.
supposedly, but I do pretty well. I really believe, I mean, I've been using the sauna for 20 minutes every morning for about 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And I really feel invigorated. I mean, I've opened up a health food store in 1980, and of all the products we've ever sold, the pinnacle of products that help the immune system, that strengthen you, that give you the nutrients you need, is the relaxed sauna.
Hmm.
Nothing comes close. And I've been into, basically I started fasting in 1971. I've done intermittent fasting all my life. Since then, unknowingly, it wasn't my intention. I just didn't eat until 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's kind of the big craze right now, intermittent fasting. We're going to do a show next Monday about that. But do you still do that?
Well, I have a protocol. Usually, I wake up in the morning, I hop in the sauna. I drink about 8 ounces of water before I get in
Hmm.
because I feel like drinking. I need to drink water before I get in the sauna,
Hmm.
and then 20 minutes later, I get out, drink about 16 ounces of water. Then I get back in the sauna, do another 20-minute sweat, and then I'll drink about 32 ounces of water, and then I'll do another sweat, and then I'll meditate or go to sleep, take a nap. And when I come out of the meditation, or when I wake up, oh my God, I feel so clear, so great. I'm totally tuned in, and then I maybe 3, 4 hours later, then about an hour later, I'll have a parsley, spinach, celery juice or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then
Uh-huh.
2, 3 hours later, I'll have some raw chocolate.
Oh,
So
look at that. Look at that.
that's my protocol on spa day for Phiil. And,
I
and
love
I and I tell people that I started doing this when I was 55, and it's 15 years, and I say, well, now I'm 40.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Hey, Phiil, with your microphone, it's coming in a little bit crackly. Is there any way? Is your microphone the one on your left side? Is that where the sound is coming in, or is it? I'm wondering if there's a way
There,
to back away from that just a little bit.
I think I switched it.
Okay,
How
yeah,
does that?
that's still coming in a little bit. That's probably okay though. It's just coming in a little bit crackly, but that's okay. We can work through that. Just want to make sure the people that are listening on the podcast version don't get that too much crackle, but that's good. That's good. So, Phiil, do you do any kind of this wild and crazy stuff that people do with the niacin flush before getting in the sauna? Or some people do, like the panchakarma, which is like lots of fats and oils and things like that. Or there's also protocols that people can do where they take, lipospheric vitamin C or lipospheric glutathione and jump in the sauna. There's tons of different protocols. Have you experimented with any of those types of protocols?
I have not done them, but I'm very enthused about the niacin flush. There's a lady by the name, her name is Chris, and there's about a 10-minute video of her on YouTube. I think if you put in constipation, or if you put in niacin and relaxed sauna testimonials, she'll tell you a 10-minute story about how she has had constipation problems all her life, and now she doesn't anymore after doing the relaxed sauna with the niacin flush.
Wow. Wow.
And
That's
yeah, I'm a
yes.
real believer in the niacin using with the sauna. I just been so busy traveling, I haven't sat down for a few minutes and said, okay, let me do 100 milligram, 150, and slowly increase it. But I certainly encourage that. I think they're great, and we go to like 20 professional conferences every year,
Mm-hmm.
and they're always talking about glutathione,
Uh-huh.
and everyone. It seems that all these conferences, 80% of the people recommend infrared saunas, far-infrared saunas.
Uh-huh.
It's basically common knowledge that far-infrared saunas are going to help detoxify you. They're going to do a lot for the immune system.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of ours on the show. He's a former medical anesthesiologist, and now he's sort of gone natural. And he was talking about one of the protocols that he does or he did once, was with the far infrared sauna with the relax, is he took a bunch of different glutathione, lipospheric glutathiones, and he just sort of preloaded with that. And then he got in the relaxed sauna, got out, and he was saying that the towels that he was wiping himself down with were white, but they were like this black orange sort of substance. Apparently he sweat out all kinds of toxins from this lipospheric glutathione using the relaxed sauna. And he said he was staying at a friend's house, and he was actually too embarrassed to give the towels back to this couple whose towels they were. So
right,
it's crazy.
Well, there are many stories like this that you just gave us, and so many others. One man, he had been taking some kind of drugs or something, and as a result of that, there was blue and red stuff on the towel, and many people have black on the towels. Many people get on the towels from whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a doctor that I don't think he's alive anymore in this dimension, but he's somewhere in Texas, and I forget the name of him, but he has like a center somewhere in Texas, and he has all these protocols that he puts people through, depending on what their health issues are, but they're all specific detox protocols. One of them's niacin, one of them's glutathione, one of them's vitamin C, one of them's like panchakarma that I mentioned, and he puts all these people through these specific protocols to detox and to sweat. Using far infrared light, and it's really cool because you can do so many different things, to draw out more toxins, right?
Well, far infrared sauna is like a secret ingredient. Basically we are light beings, and we have photon receptors, and the far infrared energy is very well received by our bodies. It's actually there's a resonating going on with the far infrared energy. It's like someone described it to me as like you have a tuning fork of a C, and then there's another tuning fork of a C nearby that's vibrating, and then it'll get the other one to vibrate. And similarly, the light comes from the sun and from the relaxed sauna or a far infrared sauna. It will resonate with the water cells in your body and the organic cells of your body, and only the far infrared is able to do this because it's by definition of far infrared ray, it's the same energy as we generate, and so there's a match. We vibrate at 9.4 microns, and water vibrates at 8 microns.
So how far or how deep, should I say, does the light penetrate, the far infrared light, when you're in the sauna? Like, how far deep into the body does that go?
Well, the traditional literature says it's 1 3/4 inches. But with the relaxed sauna, it's different, and it's really hard to describe that the relaxed sauna energy is way different than any other kind of infrared sauna. There's something special about it, and even Dr. Akpenar, who wrote the book No Sweat, No Sweat, talks about it. He calls the relaxed sauna the Qigong sauna. There's a special quality in the relaxed sauna that there are hundreds of enthusiasts like you and me and so many others that have said, I've been using the relaxed sauna for years or for a moment, and there's no other sauna that gives you this kind of special feeling that the relaxed sauna gives you. And it's exciting. There's something different, like an acupuncturist student at an acupuncture conference. When I was at the conference, I went on and said, well, what the relaxed sauna does. It gets the molecules in the body to pulsate. The water molecules pulsate. That increases the core temperature, mobilizes the lymphatic system, and that gets the microcirculation to increase. It gets the parasympathetic system of the body activated, which causes a deep sense of relaxation. It oxygenates the body, gets the mitochondria to create ATP, and so it's like I went into all of that detail, and then about 2 minutes later, she says, "Oh my gosh, I feel my chi moving," and so there's something special about it. There's a special quality different in the relaxed sauna because, see, it's the intent. The relaxed sauna company in Taiwan was asked by a Japanese corporation to find an energy that would be like the hot springs in southern Japan, and they said, can you get this energy to come out of electricity? And they said, well, it's an electrical company in Taiwan that manufactures the relaxed sauna, and they said, sure, we'll try. And 10 years later, they were able to succeed, not just try, but they actually succeeded in getting what we call a 98% pure far infrared energy to come out of the sauna.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
it's hard to measure these things, but there's something very special coming out of the relaxed sauna, the energy that is unlike. And they use an advanced, they use a semiconductor chip, and 94% of the semiconductor chips that are made in the world, at least a couple of years ago, were made in Taiwan. And it's a special kind of computer program that is able to filter out. I talked to a semiconductor mathematician at an extraordinary invention technology conference in Albuquerque last year, and he said there's no wiggle room. There's no wiggle room. In other words, all the energy coming out of the relaxed sauna generator, it's all far infrared energy, and it's all pure, and it all resonates. And so the stronger you have of a current, the more it's going to resonate with the cells in your body. And you know, like, for example, maybe this is a poor example, but hydrogen peroxide at 50% is almost like a rocket fuel. At 35% is what they sell, and 3% is pretty, it can't do what 35% does in terms of what it does. So 98% or even 80%, whatever the relaxed sauna gives, the purity of it, the strength of it, has an impact that can be felt by those who can feel the subtle energies. You know, not everyone can, but many people, they just love the relaxed sauna. They can't describe it. They said it's an oxymoron. I don't understand it. I've never felt relaxed and energized at the same time. One naturopathic doctor who speaks at a lot of the conferences says, I don't know what it does. I just feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel good. You know,
Yeah.
and from my experiences, you know, those who use, for example, you know, I have a number of people who use the relaxed sauna regularly, and a lot of them are extremely sensitive to EMF, and they have not felt any negativity from the relaxed sauna. We have an interview on YouTube from a musician in Philadelphia who's very sensitive as well, and he went in, gave the sauna, and oh my gosh, it was so incredible. He just raved about it. He wouldn't go into his mom's portable sauna. There was something about it that just didn't feel right. But his friend got in the relaxed sauna at a show in Philadelphia, and oh my gosh, he felt so amazing. He gave me an 8-minute interview about half an hour later, and he said that the relaxed sauna, he can feel, he can sense a little bit of EMF coming out of the radiator. In the whole sauna, that's the only place you could feel it. And he said, you know, I can't, it's not doing any damage at all to me. I can't feel any harm from it. I just know it's there. It's like, you know, there's a little bear cub right outside your RV, but it can't get in. And there's so much Chicken Little of the world talking about household appliance EMF that is nothing nearly as bad as the cell phone that I carry and use every day, or the Wi-Fi that's present around you, whether you use a cell phone or not, or the smart meters that are in your house. And you know, there needs to be a difference, classification between dangerous EMF, neutral EMF, and good EMF. Because if you want to be away from EMF, then you have to get off the earth, because the earth generates EMF, and it's a very healing, grounding EMF that the earth generates. Healing magnets have been a rage for 20, 30 years. Well, the M in EMF is magnetic frequencies, and these, you know, magnetic mattresses, magnetic, all sorts of things, they generate an energy. And like, there was a book called Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill by Udus Erasmus that came out 20 years ago. And this created, oh my gosh, we thought all fats were bad. So there's, so whenever something comes up, most of us, have known for years that microwaves are not very healthy. Well, I can't believe just 2, 3 months ago I go to a conference called Psychotronics in Chicago area every year, and one of the men there, he's on one of our videos, and frankly I can't remember his name, but he got the relaxed sauna from us 13 years ago and loves it, loves it, loves it. And these people who deal with psychotronics deal with the subtle energies. They deal with what they call radionics, with Rife machines, with the subtleties of frequency. And about 5 or 6 of the speakers at the show all have the relaxed sauna. And these are some of the most sensitive people in the world. And they have not noticed any detrimental negative effects from the little bit of EMF that's by the relaxed sauna radiator.
Yeah.
There's no EMF above the knees in the relaxed sauna, and you know why? There's no electricity. We only have electricity by the feet, and because we use the relaxed sauna tent as a mirror. And you talked about things they quote should have taught you in high school.
Right.
There are 3 things about far infrared red that they don't teach you in high school. Number 1, far infrared energy is a light, and therefore it goes at the speed of light. It's a light, and even though it's invisible, it's still reflected by a mirror, and people don't get that. And I forgot what the third thing is, but it goes through clothes. Far infrared goes through clothes. When you go out into the sun on a cold day, and you can feel the warmth of the sun go through your winter coat, and that goes to the core. That's what far infrared energy. It's the same energy that goes to the sand and resonates with the water in turtle eggs.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating technology, most definitely. What I was interested in too was just listening to someone recently talk about the ability for sitting in a far infrared sauna like that to be able to get your body to that parasympathetic state, which is the rest and restore and rest and relax state. And it's one thing to sweat while you're doing a workout. This summer here in California, I've been doing my workouts. Actually, I've been doing all my workouts outside for the past couple of years. But to sweat outside while you're working out is one thing. But to sweat when you're in that parasympathetic state, for me, it feels just incredible because you're not doing anything. You're sweating out just buckets and buckets of sweat. I mean, it's a pretty incredible feeling.
I tell people that the parasympathetic system is activated. I know we have a lady who's got a $5,000 wooden sauna. We just met her at the last show. She came down in her bathing suit and did a 30-minute sweat in the relaxed sauna. And she's selling that other sauna now and buying a relaxed sauna because she says after 8 to 10 minutes, something happened when she was in the relaxed sauna. She experienced a deep, profound sense of relaxation, state of relaxation she had never, ever experienced in her other far infrared wooden sauna. And these are the kind of comments I get almost every show we do from someone saying, how come this feels so much better than my sauna? There's another lady, for example, she has Lyme disease, and because of the Lyme disease, she's had no feeling in her fingers and toes, which is called neuropathy. And she has a portable sauna in her home. She's had for a year or two. She's used it a dozen different times for at least an hour. Not once has she had feeling in her fingers and toes. In 12 minutes in the relaxed sauna at the ILADS Lyme conference in Boston last year, she experienced for the first time in 2.5 years feeling in her toes and fingers. And this is on YouTube also.
That's crazy.
And we have experiences like this. And then when you hear how dangerous the relaxed sauna is because of the EMF, you gotta question what is going on. See, there's mental knowledge, and again, mental knowledge led us to believe fats were bad. All fats were bad, but it's not true. There needs to be discernment. There needs to be discrimination, anyone who carries a cell phone and is concerned about the EMF in the relaxed sauna needs to look, needs to be more honest with themselves and go by feeling, not what other people say in terms of intellectual knowledge. Beliefs are like rental cars. When they no longer serve you, you turn them back in. And a lot of people are believing blindly what the Chicken Littles of the world are talking about. And not that microwaves are not a good thing. And I think I mentioned that I just discovered, I didn't know it, but a cell phone generates microwaves. I didn't know that. But the man who I interviewed and at the Psychotronics conference in July, who's been using the relaxed sauna for 13, 14 years, went on to point out all the benefits of the relaxed sauna, saying it was not dangerous. Dr. Bill Akpinar, author of the book No Sweat, No Sweat, over 100 of his patients have the relaxed sauna. He was voted best cancer doctor in New York in 2007, and he has said none of his patients have ever experienced any ill effects from using the relaxed sauna, certainly in terms of EMF. Mm-hmm. And so there's a whole lot of misinformation going out. And a friend of mine who I talked about this, he said, well, he called it fear mongering. And, fear is the opposite of love. And when you look at things with openness, instead of reacting, I say there's reacting and there's responding. And when you respond, you're balanced, you're like what you said, your parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous systems are in harmony. Because when you respond, it means you're coming from that level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a quick little break right now, but when we come back, I want to ask some questions from the chat room. So if you have any questions for Phiil, make sure to ask them in the chat room and put them in all caps if you possibly can, because that way I can read them a lot easier. And also, let's take the questions from the Extreme Health Radio YouTube channel, because otherwise there'll be way too many questions for me to sort of filter through. So let me tell you guys about, let's see, I wanted to tell you about this rapid release technology. I don't know if you guys have seen this thing or know about my story with the rapid release, but this device here was a godsend. A couple years ago, I was in the gym and I got lazy and I was doing bent over rows on a barbell, and instead of putting the bar on the ground, I put it on the bench, which is at like a 3/4 angle. And I got lazy with it. I was lifting like 150 pounds with it or something. And I knew I was compromised. And I thought, okay, because of this, I'm not going to do my normal 10 reps. I'll do 5 reps. So on the 5th rep, my lower back just exploded. And ever since then, I've had just a really, really challenging time with my back. But there was a time recently where I re-injured it in the shower and leaning back. And after about a week of being injured, it was getting worse. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. My wife, Kate, wanted me to go to the emergency room, and I didn't even have that option because I couldn't get on a gurney. I couldn't move. My range of motion was so small and limited. Any of you guys that are dealing with back pain, you know what I'm talking about. I couldn't move. It took me about an hour to go from one room to the next in the morning. I had to do all these therapies on it before I could even roll over. It was just unreal. And after about a week, normally I would be getting a little bit better. But this time I was worse than I was a week before. And I was starting to get really scared. And I thought, maybe I'm not going to be able to walk again. I was really nervous. And so my wife called this local practitioner who was using a rapid release technology pro, and the thing just opened up my whole lower back. It changed the duration of the injury, the time of healing. This is just an incredible device. Uses a frequency, rapid high-speed vibration therapy it's called, and you can use it all over your body. I use it over my face. I use it on over all my organs. It's a great tool to have if you're someone who does athletic events, if you have children or kids that are in sports, or if you work out, chiropractors around the world are using these things now, and high vibration therapy is amazing, and no one's really talking about other uses for it. So I use it over all my organs to stimulate blood flow and stimulate circulation and oxygen transfer to the organs. No one's really talking about that part of it, but I use it on my face as well every night. So if you guys want to check out the Rapid Release Technology Pro 2, I'll put it in the chat room in just a second of the Extreme Health Radio YouTube chat. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about too was this Barf World raw dog food. If you have a pet, we're going to have, let's see, Dr. Will Falconer on Thursday come on the show, and he's as far as I know, is a big proponent of raw food for dogs. But Maggie and Charlie, or I should say Coco and Charlie, Maggie used to, they thrived on this stuff. They love it. It's really great combination of muscle meat, organs, and bone. So when you put the bone in there, it allows for a really great acid-alkaline balance, because the muscle meat, typically, even in humans, if we're eating meat, the muscle meat's always very acidic. And so when you have the alkaline minerals of the bones to mix with that acidity along with the organ meats, which is what a dog would normally eat anyway, right? A dog would always go for the organs. So in our weird, crazy culture, we give muscle meat to dogs and, don't let them eat all the things that they would normally eat if they were out in the wild. And so your dog's energy levels will just skyrocket. He or she will have a better coat, less disease, longer life, just healthier in general. Dogs were meant to eat raw food, and that's why we have Barf World as part of our offerings in our store. We give it to our dogs, Charlie and Coco, and they just absolutely love it. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link to that in the chat room on Extreme Health Radio. Let me bring Phil back in just a second and see if there's any people chit-chatting on the Extreme Health Radio YouTube channel. And Phil, let me see if there's any quick questions here for you. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds great.
Okay, cool. Let me bring you up and see if there's any questions I can bring up. Christina says that she's dripping sweat in her relaxed sauna right as she's listening to this. How funny is that? Hopefully it gets rid of my rotten cold bug. That's funny. Let's see here. A lot of people joining in from Colorado. Magical Hoof says he loves his sauna. Let's see. Daryl wants to know how much the sauna is. We'll tell you a little bit about that at the end, because Phil's got some cool discounts he's going to give to everyone watching. How to know what kind of sauna it is. Wondering. Okay, so this person wants to know. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just sort of scrolling through. Someone says, as a nutritional consultant, I recommend infrared sauna to my clients. However, anybody using a sauna more than 20 minutes a day needs to be on a remineralization program. Yeah, talk about that, Phil.
I think it's very important that you replace minerals and also that you drink water. Like I said, I drink a lot of water afterwards, and it tastes so good. Like you get connected with that part of you that knows that you really need water. I've been told by many people that I need, not me personally, but that a person needs to mineralize after using, far infrared sweating. And so, I recommend a good trace mineral supplement or a way to replenish. And I think that's a good idea. I do a lot of green foods. I do a lot of raw foods. And sometimes I don't mineralize with a multi-mineral or a multi-trace. There are a lot of good formulas out. I have a health food store in Columbus, and we sell a bunch of different formulas. And you yourself have a lot of good mineral formulas. I think it's a good idea to replenish the minerals. I say just in case.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we use, when I go in there, usually I'll do like a green juice afterwards, or I'll do like you do, there's a product called Intramax that has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. Sea salt, these are all different ways to remineralize. But I thought it was interesting. Hamburg says in the chat, to do a hair mineral analysis and to look up Dr. Lawrence Wilson. We've had Dr. Wilson on the show And Kate's actually seeing a person that she works or he works with, which is Nikki Moses up here in Los Angeles, and so you can do a hair mineral analysis and find out what minerals you're short on. But I just recommend doing just a good multi-blend mineral supplement and get all of your mineral supplements that way. Christina wants to know, lots of buzz about the comparisons between far infrared and near infrared. So this is a good question. What is your opinion?
There's so much misinformation about near infrared out there. It confounds me, basically. We have a study that was done in 2004 comparing the Relax Sauna generator to the Philips light bulb near infrared lamps between 700 and 2000 nanometers. The study proved and it showed that the Relax Sauna energy generators were significantly more effective in increasing microcirculation and in penetration into the body than near-infrared light bulbs. And this was presented at the 2004 Pacific Rim Biophotonic Conference in Taiwan. Now, so it's been known for a long time that the near-infrared light bulbs they really are not as effective as the Relax Sauna generators. That's not to say they're not effective. It's just that it could be that the Relax Sauna maybe is 10 times more potent in terms of, because near infrared does not penetrate very deeply. It does not resonate with the cells with the water cells, and does not cause the water cells to pulsate. Now the near-infrared lasers or LED lights is a totally different story. And I was watching on video how one person who's a sauna enthusiast was saying those are different technologies. They don't need to be used at the same time, and they're better probably to be used separately. So near-infrared LED lights have been shown under a number of studies, I hear, to be very effective for a lot of things, but the near-infrared light bulbs is a totally different thing, and people are saying that the near-infrared LED lights are successful, therefore the near-infrared light bulbs will do the same thing, and it's not true. And the misinformation out there is almost totally contradictory. And now a lot of people say they've used the near-infrared light bulbs and they've had help. Yeah. And if those same people would use the Relax Sauna, they might get 4, 5, 6 times more benefit. Mm-hmm. So it's not to say that they're not beneficial, but there's so much information. People are not see. It's frustrating because people aren't going by their own experiences. They're going by what other people have said. So you use the information about what other people have said, and then you go in and have your own experience. Mm-hmm. And when people experience the Relax Sauna who have done near-infrared, we have many, many people, many who say there's a world of difference. And the near-infrared light bulbs, according to them, they say it does not penetrate, and therefore they have to move the body 4 different times, because far-infrared energy you have to be in front of. It's like a cat doesn't lie in the shade. You lie in front of the far-infrared energy, otherwise it's not effective. So if you're in a wooden sauna and you're sitting in front of the window, you're not getting any far-infrared on that part of your body. Mm-hmm. But if you are in the Relax Sauna, because the sauna tent acts as a mirror, every single nook and cranny of your body is getting the far-infrared energy in the Relax Sauna, and you can't say this with other saunas. Mm-hmm. Because you have to be in front of it. And similarly, on the near-infrared, you have to move your body 4 different times. And you want something that's easy to use. The doctors call it compliance. Mm-hmm. And the Relax Sauna is one of the most compliant saunas there is, because it takes 20 seconds to preheat. In other words, there's no preheating, and in 20 minutes you have a complete sweat. And a lot of people who have $4,000 or $5,000 wooden saunas, they take 10, 20, 30, and as they get older, 45 minutes to preheat, and they don't use them. Mm-hmm. And they're so excited to get Relax Saunas as an upgrade, because now they're using them and they're actually finding that there's something special about the relaxed sauna that they did not get. Like I explained, the one lady had the deep, profound sense of relaxation. In 8 to 10 minutes, she got in the relaxed sauna that she has never, ever felt in 5 years using one of what I consider one of the better far infrared wooden saunas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'll share some of my experiences with the sauna after, on the post show for those that stick around. But I wanted to talk to you about like some of the benefits. Like I quoted that study by Dr. Rhonda Patrick at the beginning of the show, and she talked about a 40% decrease in all-cause mortality for people that use far infrared saunas 4 to 7 times per week. And then there's also studies about increasing the body's immune system and white blood cells and heat shock proteins that cause the body to build and mount an immune response and building that parasympathetic side of the body. What's going on? So typically there are toxins and chemicals, right, that are stored in the fat cells, but they're also stored everywhere. I mean, they're not just only stored in the fat cells, but they can be stored in the fat cells. And when the far infrared light hits these fat cells, it causes them to oscillate. Is that what's happening? And then they sort of squeeze and excrete the toxicities, and that's what comes out in the sweat. And that's what's so beneficial for people. Is that kind of the idea of what's going on here?
Yeah, it's far infrared energy has been known to emulsify fats, and it does sort of like by getting the water cells to pulsating. Okay. You have a lot of magic happening, and it's exciting to watch that. There's an excellent on YouTube. There's an excellent, if you put in far infrared versus near infrared, there is an excellent pictorial of what the far infrared does, how it goes in and it goes deep into the cell, getting the water cells to pulsate, and then it rises and the heavy metals go out of the body through the sweat. And near infrared can't even get there. It can't even get there. It's impotent, and it shows the difference between the penetration level of the far infrared and the near infrared. Now, what you're talking about, you're basically saying the immune system is strengthened so much by far infrared energy. So, and this is key, because when you go into the relaxed sauna, as a matter of fact, anyone who has said my body is messed up, EMF is one of the things that has messed my body up, and it's compromised. And I say the best thing in the world to do is to go into the relaxed sauna, and that will correct a lot of the damage that has been caused by EMF. For example, if you're sitting 20 feet from a jackhammer, on the road, that's really stressful to me. And so when I go into the relaxed sauna, all the anxiety, all the stress, all that would totally be dissipated. Well, EMF is something like a more subtle level of the same thing that affects people. And you go into the relaxed sauna, and far infrared energy has been proven in Japan to be an antidote for EMF, an antidote for nuclear energy, an antidote for sunburn. So, there should be more concern about the Fukushima energy than the EMF energy in a sense, or as much concern. And far infrared saunas, especially the relaxed sauna, are extremely effective. And to me, there is so much benefit from the relaxed sauna, and that because of people's fear of EMF, the fear of EMF is 20 times worse than EMF by itself. Mm-hmm. It's like I watched this over and over. This one lady, 3-4 years ago, she's a naturopathic doctor. She got in the relaxed sauna. She's from New Hampshire, I believe. She loved it. She got in 4 times and loved it and loved it. And then when she got home, she put her EMF meter on her, and she freaked out and sent it back. And this is an example of someone who's not listening to their body and not trusting their body and saying, oh my gosh, this really feels good. 10 people say, no, you don't feel good. You're deluding yourself. and you have a choice to believe them or to go by your inner experiences. And that's what life is all about, really. It's you listen, tune in, and get connected with your inner guidance, which is the only real in the world. Everyone else's opinions and beliefs are nice, but it's absolute reliance on your own inner guidance is what life is all about. And I think that's why we're all here, to learn that we all have the innate freedom within us. It's freedom, spiritual freedom is what I call it. But this is the whole being. My whole beingness is devoted to becoming free, to do what I want to do, and to honor others, and to find a nice harmony between both. And the relaxed sauna gives me this incredible feeling of attunement, of mental clarity, of the invigoration, the relaxed, the calmness. I mean, there's reason it's called the relaxed sauna. There really is. And I've heard at least 1,000 people. How do you feel? I've put over 100,000 people in the relaxed sauna, 20,000 minor or major miracles about pain disappearing, 1,000 people, maybe 5,000 saying, maybe more, how do you feel? Relaxed. And that, like you said, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, strengthens the immune system. If the relaxed sauna strengthens the immune system, all the EMF devices out there, why do they work? Because they have a program that strengthens the immune system. Now, we have a lady we met at a recent show. I think it was in Vegas. Not even sure what city. I go to so many shows. And she as a profession, she goes to houses. This is actually in LA. It was at the Cancer Control Conference. She goes to houses and makes the houses EMF friendly. And I support that in its entirety because, EMF from hair dryers, from electrical appliances, those have a little bit of stress, not as much as microwaves, and you want to keep things in perspective. Then driving a car has probably more stress than an electric massage tool or a juicer, and those have 10 times the amount of EMF as the relaxed sauna. So everything in its perspective. But this lady goes into houses and fixes houses, and she says for $40, she can put a clip on your relaxed sauna, the cord that goes to the plug in the wall. For $40, she can put a clip on that makes it extra safe. But what's interesting, that 5 of her recent clients have all had relaxed saunas in their house. Some have Lyme disease, some have other ailments, and they all rave about how much the relaxed sauna has helped them. And she goes into the house and fixes the EMF and says, well, if you want, put this on there, and that's double the surety. So for $40, there's six different companies I know of who can give you EMF protectors, and they can assure you. But I really believe that the relaxed sauna generator is one of the finest EMF protectors you can find, because it strengthens your immune system, and that's all the EMF generators do. I mean, the EMF protectors do. You cannot, if you have an EMF protector you're wearing on your neck, or if you're carrying with you, or even on your phone, it does not. You can still measure the EMF in your phone, even if you have an EMF protector. It's still measurable.
Right. We've got a couple questions here from the chat room, and I'm going to try to do the questions on the Extreme Health Radio YouTube channel. So those of you that are chatting on the Dr. John Bergman YouTube channel, pop on over to the Extreme Health Radio live feed and ask your questions there. That way I can sort of manage everything a little bit easier. So let's see here. We got a couple questions that I want to, let's see here. I mean, Business says, so would it reduce fat and breast tissue? If so, how can someone who doesn't want that prevent that? That's an interesting question. I don't think it would do that, would it?
Well, my ex-wife, You know, it made her look 10 times better than she did before she started using the relaxed sauna. I don't think that's really a concern.
Okay.
You know, it's in other words, like it's fat you need will stay there, fat you don't need will be released. It doesn't indiscriminately get rid of all fat.
Yeah.
It simply, you know, like when people say I go in the sauna, I have a pain in my right shoulder but not in my left shoulder. How come? It's because that's where there's resistance. That's where
Right.
the Farnfed is going in. You see the Farnfed as a purifier. It's like it's almost got a mind of its own, and it's loving. I call it the loving light of the sun. It's the closest, you know, it's like a warm hug from your grandma, being in the womb, being on a beach in Hawaii, being in the presence of a great loving spiritual being, or I call it, it's the closest that electricity can give to the feeling of divine love as I've experienced. It's amazing. You really feel loved. You really feel super special and super warm in a certain state. It puts you in of deep relaxation and deep invigoration. The relaxed sauna is totally amazing. I've never seen anything on the planet coming out of electricity that can do what the relaxed sauna does for one's health, for one's mind, and the emotional stability. It's like a washing machine uses water to clean every fiber of the clothes, and the relaxed sauna Farnfed energy uses the healing light to clean every single cell of your body of the toxic debris, to get rid of the gunk that the cell does not need. See, that's a key. The cell does not need, not what the cell needs for sustenance.
Right. Right.
It purifies and cleanses. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dirty light comes out
I
mentally,
like that.
physically,
Yeah. Yeah.
and emotionally.
So Jeffrey wants to know: are you saying PEMF or EMF? Is it the same?
Oh, pulsed electromagnetic frequencies is not what I'm talking about, but we go to many conferences, and that's all EMF, but it's pulsed EMF, and that's
Right.
healthy for you. So you know, but EMF is simply electromagnetic frequencies, which comes out of anything that has electricity,
Right.
and
Including
and
everyone's
you know,
Vitamixes, right? Including everyone's blenders and everyone's juicers, including all these appliances that we already use, right?
and there's six times more EMF in my Vitamix blender in my green power juicer than there is in the relaxed sauna radiators.
Yeah,
And
it's
I've
crazy.
measured it with a number of different EMF devices. And then people say, and a hair dryer has way more as well. And it's like, and you have all this misinformation. So don't believe anything. Don't even believe me. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, you measure a person's trust by how sincere they are. And again, some people are very sincere. They just have bad information. But that's one of the factors. And then you also measure where their sources are coming from. It's just learning discernment and discrimination. And like when you buy a new car, you know, what do you go by? And then when you drive the car and you test drive it and you feel it, wow, I like this, you get it, even if some people say it's not the best. And so going into the relaxed sauna, you almost have to try it and experience it to realize how special it is. And we can give for the next week a money back guarantee on it, a 30-day money back guarantee for anyone who doesn't trust it. You know,
Yeah,
for the next 7 days.
if you guys want to get this sauna and bring this thing into your life, email me Justin Justin at extremehealthradio.com, and I can help you out with special discounts and things like that Phiil is kind enough to offer to all the amazing people who are watching on Dr. Bergman's channel, as well as all the amazing people that are watching on Extreme Health Radio as well. Someone wanted to know about detoxing from vaccines. Would this help with that, do you think?
Well, whatever heavy metals you have in your body, yes, it would definitely help. It's going to help detox in every level. It purifies and cleanses the body of everything that the body does not need. And it does this through pulsating, by increasing the core temperature. Dr. Akpenar mentions in his book, No Sweat, No Sweat, that Hippocrates said, find me a way to create sweat and I will cure disease. Not I can, I will. In other words, The ability to sweat, like in the study that you talked about in terms of the Finnish saunas, and the far infrared sauna when compared to a Finnish saunas is from my experience even 6 times, 8 times more effective than a Finnish sauna, because a Finnish sauna works with heat alone, and the far infrared saunas work with energy medicine. And as I like to say, that a prairie dog is not a dog, a sea lion is not a lion, a koala bear is not a bear, and a seahorse is not a horse. A far infrared sauna is not really a sauna. It's the Mayo Clinic recommends that you never, if you're a heart patient, you never use a regular sauna, you never use a hot tub, because the heart has to race to find an equilibrium. But if you are a heart patient, far infrared saunas are extremely beneficial to you because of what they can do in terms of detoxifying you and cleansing you, and not by raising your core temperature, you don't have to race to find an equilibrium, and that's the key. Because raising the core temperature is basically inducing a fever, and that starts the whole metabolic functioning of the body to cleanse and purify and get the body into a state of equilibrium and balance and purity. And that's through sweating. It's like it makes sense. In other words, the healing light cleanses every cell of the body in the same way that a washing machine uses water to cleanse every fiber of the clothes. And it's cleansing, purifying, and you can feel the clarity and the attunement.
Right. So we were setting you up, Phiil, for this next question from the chat room. Now, this is it's funny because when people ask stuff like this, it's really, really careful that you've got to be very, very careful about what you say about things. But I would recommend, so Zcar asks, can this kill a brain tumor or any other cancer cells? So I'm not sure, Zcar, if you're dealing with right now like a glioblastoma, or someone in your life is dealing with some sort of brain cancer. I would recommend the Brzezinski Clinic in Houston, Texas. Look them up, Brzezinski Clinic. But Phiil, I want to be as helpful as I possibly can, but I also don't want to make any claims, because we all know about health tools and claims, and we basically can talk about things, but we can't share really what the real research is showing. So it's kind of confining a little bit. But what do you have to say about that?
Well, I mentioned increasing a fever in the body. It basically raises the core temperature, and if you increase the core temperature of the body, you can basically kill pathogens and viruses and fungi and things like that. The spirochetes in Lyme disease. Now there's a doctor who has a cancer clinic in the Washington State area. He uses the relaxed sauna in his clinic. He has 4 of them there, and when he puts patients who do the IV therapy, not all of them, but maybe half of his patients, the ones who are hardy, they put into the relaxed sauna while they're doing the IV therapy, and in 1 hour he can increase the core temperature 4.2 degrees. And by increasing the core temperature of the body, if you can increase it to, I'm not sure what it is, 104.5 degrees, it'll kill the Lyme spirochetes. The Lyme spirochetes will die. So a key for many of the medical alternative modalities of heat therapy is to increase the core temperature enough where you don't kill the person, but you kill the pathogens and the bacteria and the spirochetes and all those things in the body that are causing problems that don't belong there, that are uninvited guests. So increasing core temperature is key. I believe that all saunas, all infrared saunas, will help do this. I find that the far infrared sauna that Relax makes, far infrared sauna, seems to have more potency. It uses 1,500 watts to begin with, not 1,000 watts. The panels in portable saunas, I had one for a year. I loved it, but there's a night and day difference between the time and also the how much better you feel in the relaxed sauna. So I say that all infrared saunas are good. I'm not concerned about the EMF in you go on YouTube, there's 100 people saying dangerous EMF in far infrared saunas, and I think the benefit that the far infrared gives even if it's only 50%, like most of the saunas, the infrared, far-infrared saunas, and the portable ones may be as low as 18 or 36%, but they're all extremely helpful. It's a good step in the right direction. You know, Chevy Chevette will get you to the grocery store, and so will a Mercedes. Mercedes is a lot more comfortable, and I liken the relax sauna to you know, the best of the best of any infrared technology. And this is from experience and seeing, you know, hundreds of thousands of people get in the sauna and report to me. And you know, other saunas are great. I've heard wonderful things from some of the other saunas, but so many people have said that who've been in other saunas, every brand you can name, have, I'd say 90% of the people prefer the relaxed sauna. You always have the 10% of the people who don't agree with you, and I just have to live with that.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Well, Phiil, thanks for your time today. Thanks for talking about the relaxed far infrared sauna. I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to share some of my experiences with it in the post show. But man, thank you for being on, and I really appreciate it. And you know what? I would love to come up on Thursday, but I don't know if I told you, but Kate has twins. Kate gave birth to twins 2 months ago, and so
Right. I heard.
yeah, yeah. So our Thursday's booked up. Every day is booked up. It's crazy. Life with twins is absolutely nuts, but we love it. So
Well, it's been great interacting with you for the last 3, 4, 5 years. I've really enjoy everything that you're doing, because, like I said, I got into fasting and holistic health in 1971. I got into Chinese herbs and the blue-green algae, the superfoods, and this has been my lifestyle. And so, you know, when I discovered the relaxed sauna 15 years ago, it just helped me continue my lifestyle.
nice, nice. I love it.
And you're promoting all the same things that I was promoting in the 70s and the 80s. I guess, you know, I've been around a while.
Yeah, it's all good, but you're taking care of yourself, which is great. So, Phiil, thank you so much. We'll just close out here, and I'll be in touch with you shortly afterwards. And yeah, thank you for your time today and for being on and sharing all this awesome information about sauna therapy. Appreciate it.
Well, the relaxed sauna can help so many people, and I encourage everyone to experience it, because it's unlike any other kind of sauna anywhere.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, Phiil, thank you so much again, and we will talk very soon.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
Thanks,
Great.
Phiil. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, there you go, Mr. Phiil Wilson. What did you guys think about him? I want to share, I saw a couple people asking about the price of the sauna, and I'll share that in just a second. And my experiences as well with the sauna, and some things that we didn't even talk about on the show. So, but before I do that, I wanted to share with you guys this Stockton Aloe One. I don't know if you guys have looked into aloe vera and the benefits of aloe vera, but this stuff is like, I don't know. There's something different about this stuff. If you go to like a regular health food store, you're going to see a lot of different aloe veras, and you look at the ingredients, and they have all kinds of other things in there that are damaging to your health. And Stockton Aloe One is really awesome, because it is just the pure, frozen, raw, fresh aloe vera. And for those that don't know, aloe vera is incredibly high in sulfur, as well as a magical substance called ormus. But Rodney Stockton, who's the owner or the person who started Stockton Aloe One, he lived till he was 96, and he said it was one of the reasons was because of aloe vera. So I am a big proponent of aloe vera. It's better if you can actually grow it yourself, but you know, this company just makes it really easy. You can get some, you can, it ships to you frozen. You just thaw it out the night before, and then you can drink 3, 4, 5, 6 ounces a day. And incredibly great for your immune system, incredibly great for your digestion. It's a longevity superfood. It's one of the most important foods on the planet, aloe vera. And so if you guys want to grab some and try the Stockton Aloe One and see what it does for your skin, for your immune system, you know, coming into the fall season, check it out, most definitely. And then also I wanted to tell you guys about, have you tried the Dr. Cowan's Garden? We just had Dr. Cowan on the show, and he did a whole show with us about vaccines and the changing nature of childhood illnesses. And he talked about what vaccines do flu shots and what they do to both arms of the immune system. But one of his sort of passion projects is something he calls Dr. Cowan's Garden. And what's really cool about this is that it's not just like another green powder. These are unique substances that allow you to have diversity of vegetables in your body. And it says here on his website that one of the remote locations he went to in the tribes, the Hadza, has one of the most diverse diets on the planet, and they eat up to 600 different species. And we, on the other hand, in modern America, in the Western world, eat about 20 to 40. And if you actually think about the where food comes from and how it's actually grown, you look at the different species of foods. We're only really eating 2 or 3 different types of food. If you look into the work of Daniel Vitalis, he explains this beautifully. So our microbiome is suffering as a result of this. And these powders that Dr. Cowan has can be used in smoothies. They can be used in savory dishes. You can use them to cook with. You can use them in smoothies or juices. You can put them on your food. You can basically sprinkle them on anything. And the idea that he was doing was to bring in beyond organic vegetable powders in a raw state that you would never typically eat. So he's got like ashitaba powder, wild ramp powder. The threefold blend is pretty good. That's the spicy one. But then he's also got the threefold as well that's savory and one that's a little bit sweet. But then he's also got low oxalate greens powder. So these are really, really cool, different, and unique powders, bringing in biodiversity into your gut and into your microbiome. So check these things out. So go to our store, extremehealthradio.com, and up at the top you can go to our store there, and you can use the code EHR to save 15% on those powders. So I just want to let you guys know about that. So with the relaxed far infrared sauna and far infrared heat and using far infrared light, what did you guys think about that? Do you currently have a protocol where you are sweating? Sweating is one of the most important things that we could do to radically improve our immune system and increase what Rhonda Patrick calls, and researchers are showing, these things called heat shock proteins. And this allows the body to develop and mount an immune response. And this is one of the arms of the immune system that, what's his name, Dr. Thomas Cowan was on. He was talking about the cell-mediated immune response, which is the first step of the immune system. And then he was talking about the other arm of the immune system, which is where your body creates white blood cells and antibodies and things like that. And so allowing your body to create heat shock proteins with a increase in internal core temperature at 2 to 4 degrees radically improves your health. And this is why I have the Relaxed Far Infrared Sauna under the light section of our store. And I wanted to tell you guys too that in just a little bit, I'll tell you how to get access to a discount that we're going to give. Phiil was nice enough to give to all of the listeners to this particular radio show. And it's going to be available up until this Sunday, the 23rd of September, 2018, at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So if you guys want to grab that, I will be talking about that in just a second. But let me look at some people who are talking and chit-chatting in the chat room. Christina says, question everything. Yes, definitely question everything. And don't listen to us or don't listen to anybody, really. Run everything by your own internal compass. Christina, I really like that. That's kind of what we're trying to do with Extreme Health Academy. It's trying to do with Extreme Health Radio, is educate all of us to be our own guru, to be our own doctor, and to not give your power over and your healing abilities over to someone who knows less about your body than you do. B Light says, my husband threw out his back, could not move on the floor. I gave them this cayenne pepper remedy and massage with magnesium oil with acupressure. Okay, that's interesting. You know what might be good too is that's really good, because cayenne pepper would increase blood flow, right? Increase oxygenation and tissue repair. And magnesium oil would obviously help to relax everything. I'm thinking too, maybe add some DMSO to that. That might be something I'll keep in my back pocket in case something ever goes awry with my back again. Christina says, I opened up the zipper a bit to cool off if I get too hot, and it starts my heart going faster. Yeah, I used to have that too, Christina. When I'd get into the relaxed far infrared sauna, my heart would beat quite significantly more. And that stopped after I'd say about 6 months of using it every single day. So yeah, I don't know if that has something to do with the rest and digest and the parasympathetic nervous system or the body's detoxing, but I had the same thing. And now it seems like I don't have any problem at all. And here's the one thing that I'm really bummed out about is that I haven't used the sauna nearly as much in the last 2 months as I normally do. We've had ours for about 5 years now. And I literally use it probably on average 6 days a week, I'd say, for about 30 minutes at least. In the summer, I will get in there probably about 20 minutes. It's too hot for me in the summer, but I still like to expose myself to the far infrared light. And then in the winter, I can stay up. I've stayed up for probably about an hour is the most I've ever stayed in there. But here's the one thing I like about the relaxed far infrared sauna. And this is the thing that is huge for me. I am someone who I really love learning, and I love learning new things, whether that's about natural health, whether that's about where we came from, spirituality, where money came from, politics, conspiracy theories, just everything. I'm really curious about everything in the world. And one of the things that I love about the relaxed far infrared sauna is that from an Ayurvedic perspective, it's really what you want because you don't want to put your head and heat up your head from an Ayurvedic perspective. You want to keep your head cool. So what's cool about this is that I can watch all of my documentaries that I watch and all that kind of stuff while I'm sitting in the sauna, and I get to learn. I usually watch everything at like a 1.5 speed. So I'm watching documentaries, I'm listening to other podcasts, I'm watching all kinds of really interesting things in the sauna. I have a whole list. If you guys want, you can email me and I'll send you a link to. I've saved every video that I watch in the relaxed far infrared sauna. Actually, I've only saved the videos from the past probably 2 years or so. But I've saved them on a separate website, so I can send you that link if you're interested in all that kind of weird esoteric knowledge stuff. But that's one of the places I like to do it. And I also do it on my IMRS PEMF mat as well. I'll lay on there and I'll watch documentaries and stuff. So I think it's really important to multitask when you can, and to stack disciplines and to learn and to stimulate different parts of your body. If I were to get into a regular sauna, I can't do that because I can't take like an iPhone in there, and I wouldn't want to do that because of the EMF. And then I can't take a computer in there because, and I don't really like to meditate when it's hot like that. Some people can do that, but that's not really my thing. At least for me, I'm just not wired that way. I don't know. I just get antsy, but I can meditate outside of the sauna, but some people love it. I don't know. But this is what I love about the sauna is that it's almost a deal breaker for me. To the ability for me to sit and watch and to learn. It makes time go by quick. You're entertained. It's amazing. So Maria says, I came in late. What's a relaxed sauna? A relaxed sauna is the sauna that we sell in our store. And it's available at extremehealthradio.com /sauna. And you can find it in our store as well. And it's it's the same as a far infrared sauna. Yeah, it uses far infrared light. So it's really a light box, but you can't see it. It's like the Juve light. There's light that comes out of there, but you can't see it. It's far infrared. So, so that's what I really like about the sauna. It just allows you to be able to really just learn things and relax, and it just feels amazing. So, let's see. Business says, be light. I wonder if that will help my hip pain. I was using damp heat in the sauna and it helped a lot. You know what you could do too with hip pain, with any kind of pain, is DMSO. DMSO. One of the cool things you could do also in the sauna is do like a castor oil pack. You can put a little castor oil over your liver and go in the sauna, and that is incredibly detoxifying as well. So that's something that you could do. What I like to do is I like to jump on the rebounder, the Bellicon rebounder that we have, flush my lymphatic system and get all of that lymph fluid moving, because we have like thousands of one-way valves in our lymphatic system that open and close when you expose it to up and down motion, the G-force of jumping up and down. So that's what I like to do. I like to jump on the rebounder and then jump in the sauna after that. And then sometimes if I have extra time, I'll do the IMRS PEMF mat after that. So you know what, guys, I would recommend looking into different things. I was just noticing something recently of the wellness mama. I saw her on Instagram, and it was really cool. She did an Instagram post about this. I think it's like a health share kind of program, but she's basically saving her family a ton of money by having this specific health share program. And what's cool about it is that she's taking that saved up money and buying health tools. And I think that's a really good idea for all of us to turn your home into a healing sanctuary. I think that's super important, because, it's challenging. If you want to use the sauna and it's a perfect time, you're not going to drive to the gym at 9 o'clock at night on a Tuesday night. So having one of these things at your home is incredibly, incredibly beneficial for your health. And I know Dr. Bergman has this same brand as well. If you guys are watching over there on Dr. Bergman's channel, he's got one of these relaxed far infrared saunas as well. I'm just a big fan of these things. I use it every single day. And to me, the EMF thing it's just an interesting thing, because like we had a guy on a couple of days ago, Brian Hoyer, and I love what he's doing. Awesome guy. And I asked him about, like, is there any EMF coming off of the earbuds when you're listening to an iPod, and he kind of laughed and said, people are concerned about these things, this small amount of EMF, when their body's being bombarded with, gigahertz frequencies coming from their cell phones and from cell towers and stuff like that. And he just kind of laughed. And I kind of had the same thing. Kate and I were talking about it the other day, that, for some reason, everyone is okay with buying a Vitamix blender that has tons of EMF, or a Excalibur dehydrator, which I don't know if that has. I'm sure it does. Any electrical device is going to have put off a magnetic field. So yes, in an ideal world, you want to be completely free of all of that. But I just find it interesting that people are so concerned about the sauna, or any kind of sauna that uses electric field, but not other devices like a Vitamix or something like that. So it's really kind of just a weird dichotomy that I think people have. I, for one, love it, and I think it's one of the most empowering health tools that I've had over the past 5-6 years. And you guys know, I am a big fan of bringing these health tools into your home. So Business says, good info. I haven't tried the castor oil pack in the sauna. Okay. Dry brush. That's right. I also do that too. Yeah. Dry brush, because that stimulates the lymphatic flow and lymphatic drainage and lymphatic transfer, right? The dry brush, then do the rebounder, then do the sauna. You do that when you're really disciplined. You know what's kind of cool about the sauna for me, Business? I like to know your name, but I like that name of the YouTube handle. But what I really like about it is that it's something that you can do to sort of get away from everything. So if you got like a really busy work day, maybe you have kids, or maybe you have a lot of stress from work or these things going on, if you have a far infrared sauna and you can just watch like a Netflix movie or a documentary, whatever you're into, and just kind of shut everything out and put it in a room where no one can get in, like lock the door, it's really like, I don't know, it's really invigorating, and it somehow recharges you. Shirley, no way, that's awesome. I never know what your name is, but I see you here a lot, so that's cool. Shirley. Miss Vixen wants to know, I'd like more information about the Health Share program if possible. Miss Vixen, we did a show, just to let you know, with Carrie Gray, Kari Gray, and she at the time was doing a program called, Greensurance, but now it's changed names. But look up Wellness Mama on Instagram. And you know what I'll do? I'll bring it up here. I don't think I can share the link here, but let me share her thing. And she turned me on to the Furrow tub, which is a tub that I'm going to look at investing in. It's an $8,000 tub, but it allows you to do cold thermogenesis and heat therapy with using water. So Wellness Mama. Let me bring that up. So search her on Instagram. Let me see if I can bring her in, and I'll show you the actual post. For those that might be watching in the future, we are recording this September 18th, 2018. So this was the post that I was referring to, and I'll show it on the screen here under the Wellness Mama. And she talks about hot-cold therapy, and she talks about the water in our Furrow Health Tub gets all the way down to the 50s. And if you want to go on Instagram and read what she has to say about the Health Share program, you can check that out if you're interested in that. So hopefully Wellness Vixen, is that your name? No, not Wellness. Miss Vixen. Is that what you said? Miss Vixen? Yeah, so there you go. All right, guys, anything else that I can help you with? Oh, I wanted to tell you too. Okay, so the actual deal on this sauna, Phiil was nice enough to give was he's going to give $150 off of this sauna. And what's really amazing about that is that, you know, this sauna that he's talking about doesn't cost the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 that most of the wooden saunas, cost. And you don't have to tear a wall down. There's no expensive, install process. It doesn't take a long time. You just pop it up. You can loan it to a friend, which is really great. If you have a friend who's dealing with kind of a health issue or something, you can, loan it to them. So this is going to be $150 off. So if you want access to this relaxed far infrared sauna, I think it's $1,195 minus $150. That's for those that are in the continental United States or the contiguous. I've recently learned it's not continental, it's contiguous United States. So if you're in Alaska, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world that's not the contiguous United States, let me know, send me an email, and I can help you out with shipping to different parts of the world. We ship all over the world. We ship to Europe, we ship to Australia, we ship all over the world, England. So yeah, this offer is for $150 off. So if you want to get access to it, email me Justin, Justin at extremehealthradio.com, and I can hook you up with a sweet discount for that. So Maria says, I have a boxed far infrared sauna and love it. Talk more about the heating the head. Didn't know. Yeah, so from an Ayurvedic perspective, we had a Ayurvedic practitioner in studio who is a friend of our shows. If I remember her name, I will try to remember it. But if I don't remember it, but from an Ayurvedic perspective, they don't like the head being heated up for some reason. And Ayurveda is like a 4,000 year, it's like Chinese medicine, it's been around for 4,000, 5,000 years. But yeah, so in that perspective, I don't know why. I'd like to learn more about that myself, to learn why it's not a beneficial thing to heat up the head of a person. But, here's my thing. If you have a sauna, just use it. If you're already using one, just use it. I think a lot of us get caught up in these specific health tools. And yes, we're promoting the, relaxed far infrared sauna because we love it. I use it, and, I'm a big fan of it and all of that. But if you already have a sauna, just use it. If you want to one day upgrade to something like a relaxed far infrared sauna, we can buy one from us later on. But it's going to do you so much good. Just use it. Don't be concerned about what the Ayurvedic, you might want to look it up, Ayurveda, and heating the head. So that's something to consider, something to think about, but just use it. Get in there, sweat. Try to sweat every single day if you can. It's really beneficial too if you can do cold hot therapy. So you go from cold, then you go to hot, then you go switch back and forth, and talk about a stressor on the body and something that can help the immune system tremendously. So I like what Shirley said about doing the dry brush and then doing the rebounder, because that's a radically powerful lymphatic system stimulator. And then you do the sauna, and then once all of that lymphatic fluid has been released and able to be transported within the body, then you get in the sauna, and then you can sweat all of those toxins out. There's a guy, Philip Ray, I think, or his name was Rey in Texas. He was the guy I was mentioning earlier on the show, but he was in, I think, Dallas, Texas, his clinic, and he would actually do analysis of he would extract fat from people and analyze the fat under a microscope, and was showing all kinds of toxins in the fat cells themselves. And so is his name William Ray? I think he was in Dallas, and he had a detox clinic, I think, there. I'm not sure if don't think he's still alive, but that's what I've heard, is that he used to do testing on the actual fat cells themselves. And that's where the fat cells is like a repository of the chemicals that we're exposed to. The thousands of different chemicals we're exposed to every day. Like just walking outside, we're exposed to so many chemicals. Check this out. This is crazy. So we had Stephanie Seneff on the show a while back, and she was talking about how 10% of gasoline is ethanol, which comes from corn. And corn is sprayed with glyphosate. And so she's going to start doing some research now, wondering or trying to figure out if there's glyphosate in just the environmental air because of gasoline that we're breathing, and at the gas station, or tire dust and all these types of things that we're breathing, living near an airport. The amount of toxic chemicals that we're exposed to on a daily basis is so far beyond anything that the human body was ever designed for, that's why we need to really bring these practices into our life. We really need to start optimizing our biology through the use of specific protocols like sauna therapy, like cold thermogenesis, like light therapy, like PEMF therapy, and start utilizing these tools that we have, because we have all the answers in today's world. We have the answers. It's just a matter of saving up for those things and purchasing them and buying a couple of them a year. And then after 5 years, you've got 10 or 15 different health tools at your house. This is what I do. I kind of collect these things. So we have the Rebounder, we have the IMRS, we've got the Juve red light therapy device, we've got the SOTA Instruments PEMF local device. We've got so many different healing tools in our home. And so that's what's so powerful about living in 2018. Yes, we're exposed to over 20,000 new chemicals and toxins that our body's being exposed to every year, and more chemicals they're creating. The food industry and different chemicals that are coming out every single year. Yes, we're exposed to those things, but we also have the tools available to help our bodies to heal. So if you guys haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to do that, because I don't want you guys to miss any of the shows that we have coming up. Let me just give you a quick rundown of the shows we got coming up. Bob Greska on Wednesday, that's tomorrow at 10:45. That'll be all about carbon-60 and the potential for human lifespan. Then we're going to talk with Dr. Will Falconer about natural pet care. That's going to be really cool. And then Jason Prawl on longevity secrets. That's going to be awesome. We were going to have him in studio, but we're having some mic issues, so we're going to have to do him remote, and then we'll have him back on again. And then Nadia, we're going to be talking, I don't know how to say her last name, Petaguana. We'll be talking with her about intermittent fasting. Then we got Dr. Darren Engels about Lyme disease, Dr. William Pollack about PEMF for our health. So make sure to subscribe to the Extreme Health Radio YouTube channel. And if you're listening as a podcast, or if you are listening on Dr. Bergman's channel, if you want to keep up to date with our podcasts, you can go over to iTunes and subscribe to Extreme Health Radio. And all of these are obviously available as a podcast as well. So let me share with you a couple of our recent shows that we had. Pretty cool stuff. If you want to learn more about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, that was episode 582. Talk about a interesting healing modality. Whew. Man, that was pretty amazing show, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And then we had Dr. Gerald Smith on the show as well. We talked about energy medicine. We talked about concussions, cancer, autoimmune diseases. And then recently, Dr. Richard Massey, who's also got a lot of content inside the Extreme Health Academy as well. But we talk with him about the real cause of disease and family constellation therapy, timeline therapy, recall healing, and how the body's always trying to heal. So that was episode 580. So make sure to subscribe to us in YouTube or in iTunes or all those good places if you want to keep up to date with everything we have going on. Every single week we have so much great content coming out. And for those that don't know, or if you jumped in late, we are partnering with Dr. John Bergman, working with him and his team on the Extreme Health Academy. And if you're looking at the screen now, you're looking at a bunch of the different courses we've done: autoimmune diseases, cancer, building the immune system, your hormones, digestion, your nervous system. These are all courses that should have been taught to you in school. Unfortunately, our school system does not teach us how to take care of ourselves. So in actuality, there should be no need for the Extreme Health Academy, actually. There should be no need for it. And I wish there wasn't any need for it. But since the school system is not teaching us how to take care of ourselves, we have to learn how to do that on our own. So this is why we do what we do. And this month, the course is that Dr. Bergman is teaching is going to be all about heart health and cardiovascular health. So that is going to be an awesome course. And you guys get to vote on the courses too. So which makes it really powerful. And we do every single week, we do weekly Q&A sessions where we answer your questions. Dr. Bergman does, and then we do members hangouts where I and Dr. Bergman's son and my wife Kate join us, and we answer all of your health questions. It's just an awesome community. So if you want to take your health to new levels, we'll give you a free 14-day trial. So for those that are Extreme Health Radio fans, go to extremehealthacademy.com and enter the code EHR14, and that will give you a free 14-day trial. And for those that are Dr. John Bergman fans, go to extremehealthacademy.com and type in Bergman14, and you can get a free 14-day trial, and you can check it out and make friends in the forum. And it's just an awesome place. Really, really proud of it. Really happy to be a part of it. And it's just an honor. It's an honor to do what we're doing and to helping so many people around the world. Let's pop in and make sure there's no last-minute questions from you guys. If you have any questions about anything, let me go on and see. Let's see. Jeffrey Perkins says, oh, Miss Vixen's actually Vicky. Awesome. Cool. Justin is a coach in contact sports. What's the doctor that deals with concussion? Concussions. We've done a few shows. We did a show with Dr. Peter DeWitt. Not Peter DeWitt. We did a show with Dr. Peter DeWitt. Who was he? Was he yesterday? I'm getting all these shows mixed up. Yeah, Peter DeWitt was yesterday on Recall Healing. John DeWitt, Dr. John DeWitt, was on our show recently. And there's another doctor that I have recently learned about that it really is knows a lot about concussions. And let me bring him to the forefront here as well, and maybe we can bring Dr. Tim Marshall. That was an interesting recent interview I heard with Dr. Tim Marshall, and his website is dr-marshall.com. We've also interviewed Dr. Darren Engels on the show as well, but this guy is pretty good as well. And then there's the Amen clinics that you want to look into as well, Dr. Amen, and he's got a lot of really interesting work he's done. Dr. Amen. Yeah. Okay. No way. You're back. Wow. Did you already go to the DMV, Kate? Kate was going to go to the DMV this morning. DeWet. Shirley says, I thought you were someone asking about the doctor. Kate says, better late than never. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Danny Michelle says on YouTube, Facebook, looking forward to this. My husband and I have an ongoing debate over EMFs. He says there's absolutely no concern and uses all of these technological reasons. Oh, he's an electrician and provides technical services for a manufacturing company. He wouldn't turn off our Wi-Fi at night if I begged him. He even charges his cell phone on our dresser, just looking for the truth. Danny, you know what? We did a show on, if you go to the Extreme Health Radio YouTube, just go to YouTube and type Extreme Health Radio. And we just did a show yesterday or a couple days ago with Brian Hoyer, all about EMF. And that's fascinating. But you know what? It sounds to me like this is the problem. Here's the issue. It sounds to me like when someone's income is tied to their belief system, there's a real issue with that. And the difficult and challenging thing in our world today is to have that not be the case, right? Because if you work, for example, for Monsanto, you're going to think Monsanto is great. If you work as a doctor, you're going to think that medical doctors are the end-all, be-all. If you're a priest in the Catholic Church, you cannot be convinced of anything otherwise. If you are a paleo kind of a person, no one's going to convince you that eating, strictly vegan is going to be the way to go. So the real issue is keeping an open mind. Danny, and what I would recommend to you is to not debate him. This is the real issue with a lot of this stuff is to not debate people. If he wants, he gets to have this journey in his life, and this is his journey, this is his life, and he gets to do whatever he wants to do. And it's none of our business to try to change people who don't want to be changed. So this is a real issue. A lot of people in our Extreme Health Academy want to help their friends and family, and I really try to encourage them to not give away their power and not offer up solutions if they're not looking for solutions, because they're not even convinced there's a problem. The real issue though is when it comes down to you. So if you want the wireless turned off and he won't turn it off, then that's an issue, and maybe you can work on that with him. But if he's convinced that EMFs are fine, then I would just let him continue thinking that, because there's a whole thing called Cartman's triangle, and I don't know if I want to get into it now because I've gotten into it before, and it's a long explanation about giving away our power and not allowing for that to happen, where we become weaker as a result of trying to change everybody. Susan says the 5G towers, when put up, what testing happens? I don't know about the testing, Susan. And do we, by being within a mile of the tower, get more exposed? Most definitely. So, and she says, I definitely got zapped a couple months ago around 3 a.m. Towers going up everywhere here in Ontario, Canada. Oh my gosh. You know what, Susan? They just put in a huge big tower right next to our neighborhood. So now Kate and I are thinking about moving. So this is what our world is coming down to. With 5G, the electrical pulses are in the gigahertz range. So that means billions of cycles per second resonating through your biology. And that's going to be a real issue. And so one of the main issues with 5G is that in order for there to be self-driving cars, in order for there to be instant uploads to Netflix and downloads from Netflix and things like that, there needs to be a lot of bandwidth. And the problem with that is that in order to sustain that bandwidth, more cell towers have to go up. So we're essentially electrifying our entire culture. If you look at diseases and you look at the rate of disease that people had after around 1879, when light and electricity started becoming more mainstream and being invented and being rolled out to the population, you look at the disease rates corresponding to the beginning of the electrification of America, and it goes up like a parallel line. So it's really bad. It's really, really bad. So there are mitigation strategies, and listen to the show we did with Brian Hoyer. You can hire a guy like him to come out to your house, and he'll I think he charges right now like $1,000 for 2-bedroom house, and I think an additional $100 for each bedroom, and he can measure everything in your house. Go listen to the show that we did a couple days ago on YouTube with Brian Hoyer under Extreme Health Radio. and subscribe so you don't miss any of the shows that we have coming out. But make sure to listen to that one, because you can hire a guy like him to come out to your house and essentially build a Faraday cage in any bedroom you want, which is what he does. And we're considering doing that ourselves with him. So this 5G business, man, is very, 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 very dangerous, and people aren't talking about it. People just are not talking about it. All right, so Hamburg says infrared sauna can also help to eliminate latent, L-A-T-E-N-D, chronic infections, killing the pathogens by raising the core temperature of fever therapy. Yeah. I never heard of latent, L-A-T-E-N-D, to eliminate that. But yeah, it does do that. Increasing the internal core body temperature is one of the ways that we can boost our immune system. And so let me share with you guys the link for the Extreme Health Radio Sauna, the Relax Far Infrared Sauna, if you guys want to get access to that. The sale we're going to be running, thanks to Phiil, through Sunday, the 23rd. So make sure to jump on this if you guys want this and you want to bring this sort of healing into your life. I can't recommend this enough. So the sauna sale is going to be available till Monday, and that's going to be $150 off. So if you want to get access to it, make sure to email me, justin@extremehealthradio.com, and I can help you out with that. Kate and Maria going back and forth. This is pretty cool. I feel like I'm eavesdropping in on conversations that are happening, while I'm talking. It's just hilarious. Yeah, okay, so Kate's talking about the Kate and Maria talking about our baby twin boys. Yeah, Maria, I think you were saying the other day, right, that you have the 38-year-old twins. Is that right? Mother of twins are powerful. Yeah. Amazing. All right, guys. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Tomorrow, make sure to join the show at 10:45 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to be talking with Bob Greska about this sort of weird, bizarre, odd little molecule called carbon-60, and whether or not that can increase human lifespan by up to 95%. Is it possible? So that's going to be tomorrow. So make sure to join us. Got shows every day this week. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher, make sure to subscribe, leave us a rating and review. If you guys want to check out any of those products that we mentioned during the show, on today's particular show, you can check those out. That's the Rapid Release Technology, the Barf World Raw Dog Food, the Stockton Aloe 1, and the Dr. Cowan's Garden. If you're watching on YouTube on the Extreme Health Radio channel, there should be links to all of that in the description below, so you can check all of those out. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all of you in Dr. Bergman's channel. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be doing shows very often, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here, and that way you can get access to a bunch of really cool, interesting people and listen live and all of that. So yeah, thanks guys for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. You are amazing. We love you all. Let me bring up Kate's little disclaimer here. Isn't it crazy that you have to have a disclaimer in today's world? It's just unbelievable, isn't it? So yeah, it's just, man, it's funny because you can't talk about anything about what it does. Like that person asked a while ago about what it does to cancer cells, but you can't talk about that, because then you'd be making a claim that it does something to cancer cells. It's crazy. So anyway, guys, send me an email, Justin, Justin, @extremehealthradio.com, and I can help you out with getting access to that $150 sauna sale price that's going to be going to September 23rd, 2018. So that's in 5 days from now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. $150 off the sauna. You just have to email me, and I will give you access to that discount. So Justin, Justin, @extremehealthradio.com if you want to join and find out more about the sauna and the price and all that good stuff. All right, guys, we love you all. We'll catch you tomorrow at 10:45, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this blog or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes only and is in no way intended as medical advice, as a substitute for medical counseling, or as a treatment/cure for any disease or health condition, and nor should it be continued as such. Always work with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, prescription drug use, lifestyle, or exercise activities. This information is provided as is, and the reader/viewer assumes all risks from the use, non-use,